my dear students. I am Prashant here from Pragati the School. This is an online class designed for students studying in 10th standard of CBSE and Karnataka SSLC stream. Today we are going to learn about physics, chapter 12, electricity. What is what do you mean by electricity? It is nothing but the flow of electrons in a conductor. The flow of charge in a conductor is called as current, electric current. Conventionally, the current flows from positive to negative. See here, this is a circuit diagram. Just a minute, I'll take a laser point. So see here, this is an electric circuit. Here is a battery. Battery is nothing but a power source. See, here is a battery, plus and minus will be there. You might have seen this battery, this cell. Okay, so this battery will have plus and minus cell. You can see the direction here. What is this? I is nothing but current. I is represented by current. So you can see the arrow direction. The current flows whenever we switch on, the key is switched on, the current starts flowing. It comes here and this is the load. Here we can think the bulb is there and bulb starts glowing. Again the electrons will start come here and this is an ammeter. You don't worry, we will learn about this later. So the current starts flowing and coming here and terminating at negative. So this is an electric circuit. So this is conventional current. That means the flow of electrons from positive to negative. See here, think that the flow of current starts from positive and comes to negative. This is the flow of current. The current direction is always represented by I with an arrow here. So the current flows from positive to negative. And what is happening to the electrons? See here, always the electrons flows from negative to positive. Clear? Always the electrons flows from negative to positive. But current flows from positive to negative. So this convention you should make clear. By seeing this electric circuit diagram, you should make very clear that always the current flows from positive to negative. From positive to negative. That is direction of current. That is called as conventional current. And what is the direction of electrons? The electrons flows from negative to positive. Both these you should mention in an answer. That means the current is flowing from positive to negative and the electrons will flow from negative to positive. That means the direction of flow of current will be always opposite to the direction of flow of electrons. So that is called as conventional current. Flow of charges. Flow of charges is nothing but a group of electrons is called as a charge. Group of electrons is called as charge. So flow of charges, that means flow of electrons. You can see here the current flows from positive to negative. We know that. And here also if you take the atomic level, the electrons will always jump from one atom to the other atom and it flows from here to here. Okay, from positive to negative. Here also you can see if you take a cross section of a conductor and if you see q is nothing but charge, that means group of electrons, so many electrons will be there. So all the electrons crossing this cross section in unit time, that means so many charges passing this cross section in unit time. For say example, think that these are human beings and this is the gate. Okay, and think that 1 2 3 4 people are passing through the gate in 2 seconds. For 4 people passing through this gate in 1 second, that is nothing but current. Okay, that is nothing but current. So current is represented by I. Q is nothing but what? Charge. That means charge is nothing but group of electrons divided by time. That means Q, if you take so many people, so many electrons passing through a cross section in unit time. So that is the meaning of it. So I is equal to Q by T. Clear? So the SI unit of electric charge is coulomb. Q is equal to coulomb. Why? Q is nothing but charge. What is a charge? Charge is group of electrons. Group of electrons, that is called as charge. So what is I? I is equal to, I is nothing but current. Q is charge. T is time. So Q is represented by coulomb. Coulomb by scientist name. Coulomb represented by capital C. What is T? Seconds. Time represented by S. I is current. Current is always, current means the unit of current is ampere, represented by capital A, that is ampere. We'll learn about these things in the next slide. So always remember, the flow of charge means the amount of charge Q is flowing in a particular time by crossing the cross section. Hope you have understood this. So remember, I is equal to Q by T. Coming to charge. Already I told you the charge is nothing but group of electrons. The group of electrons. The group of electrons is called as charge. It is represented by the unit coulomb. C. Okay. So see here, 1 coulomb. How much is 1 coulomb? 1 coulomb is equal to how many electrons will be there? As I said, group of electrons is called as coulomb. You can see here mathematically 1 coulomb is equal to 6.28 into 10 raised to the power of 18 electrons. That means it will be equal to so much. See, so many electrons. You cannot, so many. It is 10 raised to the power of 18. So many electrons will be there in one charge. One charge is called as 1 coulomb. Remember, one charge means 1 coulomb. So many electrons. We can round it off to 6 into 10 to the power of 18 for calculation purpose. Clear? See, always negative electron, positive proton. Both is represented by E, and this one is negative E. So proton charge E is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. And what is electron? One electron will contains how many charge? What is the charge possessed by electron? One electron, if we take so many electrons will be there in 1 coulomb. If we take only one electron, okay, one electron. So how much charge does it have? It has minus 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulombs. Why it is negative is given? Because always electrons consist of negative charge. So that's why minus is coming to picture. Proton is always, it has got positive, so that's why plus will come, but both will have, proton and electron will have same amount of charge. You should be very clear about this concept. And coming to the ampere, the electric current is represented by a unit called ampere. The current, see, the current is I, represented by I. Where is I here in this formula? I is here. I is equal to Q by T. What is this I? Ampere. That is nothing but electric current. The electric current is expressed by a unit called ampere. 1 ampere is constituted by the flow of 1 coulomb of charge per second. That is 1 ampere is equal to 1 coulomb per second. See, ampere current, you take it as 1 ampere. This one you take it as 1 coulomb, and this you take it as 1 second. That means 1 coulomb, one charge, that is 1 coulomb. That means how many electrons? So much electrons, 6 into 10 to the power of 18 electrons flowing through a cross section. See, you think that so many electrons combined together as one charge, and it is flowing through a cross section in 1 second. In 1 second, just like that, it will pass through that. So that is called as 1 ampere. Correct? So the unit of current is given as ampere based on the scientist Andre Marie Ampere. Ammeter. Have you seen the ammeter? An instrument called ammeter measures electric current in a circuit. See, this is a circuit. We know I is current now. What is the unit of current? Ampere. So ammeter means it can also be called as ampere meter. You can see here ampere meter. microampere meter, milliampere meter. That means it can be called as ampere meter or ammeter in short form. So the instrument used to measure the current, the instrument used to measure the current is called as ammeter. In the circuit where you can see the ammeter, see here, battery is here, key is here, ammeter is here, and this one is the load. See, ammeter is connected always in series to the circuit. This you should remember, very very important. Clear? See the ammeter. Positive of the battery is always connected to the positive of the ammeter. Negative of the ammeter is connected to the negative of the battery. That means ammeter is always connected in series in a circuit. See microampere, that means the flow of current will be very 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 less, very less. So that's why we go for microammeter or milliammeters. You can see here A means ammeter, MA means milliammeter. You can see is a milliamp. It can also be called as milliamp or short form M capital A, small m capital A. Milliamp. Milli means 10 to the power of minus 3. Micro means this is a symbol you can use mu A, that means 10 to the power of minus 6 ampere. The symbol micro is represented by Greek letter mu. Okay, this is mu ampere. Now let us come to electric potential and potential difference. What is electric potential and potential difference? We will learn. See potential difference. What do you understand by that potential difference? That means difference means there should be two entity. One entity has to be separated with the other entity. So that's why it is called as potential. Two entities should be there. If you see here in this picture, what I'm showing here, think that this is the tank in your house. Okay, the underground tank. From the underground tank, you put a pump and pull the water through the pipe, and the water goes to the overhead tank. Right? You're using the power here. And what is happening here? The power, see, the water flows easily without any pump, right? From the height, very easily it flows to the bottom. That means this is called as higher potential and this is called as lower potential. So always the water, you think the water as a current, okay, always the current flows from higher potential to lower potential, higher potential to lower potential. That's why you can see here in the circuit diagram the current flows from here and comes out here. That means charge at higher potential. What is the symbol? This symbol is positive. So this one is always positive. The current flows from positive charge to negative charge. That means positive is higher potential, negative is lower potential. So that is the potential difference. Okay, you can see here also in this circuit, I can see here also in this circuit, battery is there, switch is there, a bulb is there. If you measure the potential difference, that means this is the higher potential, always positive side. You can see here, this is the positive side and smaller one is the negative side. So always the positive side is higher potential and the negative side is the lower potential. So the difference between here and here, the point, the force, okay, the electric force is nothing but potential difference. So potential difference is represented by capital V. Sometimes we call it as voltage. Have you heard of this name, voltage? The other name for voltage is potential difference. That means pressure. Okay, electric pressure is called as potential difference or voltage. We have the formula V is equal to potential difference. V is equal to work done by charge. Work done by so many charges. So potential difference V is equal to W by Q. So what does 1 volt becomes? 1 volt is nothing but work. We know from previous classes in 9th standard we have seen what is work. Work is represented by joule. The unit of work done or work is joule. That means joule. What is the unit of Q? Charge? Coulomb. That means 1 volt is equal to 1 joule per 1 coulomb. 1 joule per 1 coulomb. So that is voltage. You should remember this formula. Okay, what is SI unit of electrical potential? We told it is volt. Okay, volt V. So what is 1 volt? We have seen 1 volt is equal to 1 joule per 1 coulomb. We have seen this formula. The same formula is given here also. 1 volt is equal to 1 coulomb. Clear? The potential difference is measured by means of an instrument called voltmeter. The instrument used to measure current is ampere meter or ammeter. The instrument used to measure voltage is voltmeter. This is a voltmeter we use to measure the voltage, and this is ammeter, already we have seen, or also it is called as ampere meter. It is used to measure current. And one more instrument is galvanometer. What is a galvanometer? It is used to detect the current. That's it. It doesn't measure. You cannot measure the current in galvanometer. It just deflects right side or left side. It shows the direction of current and it shows the presence of current. That is the function of galvanometer. That's it. And in a circuit, if you see a battery is connected, and I will show which is positive, which is negative. You might be knowing by this time this is a symbol of a battery. Always the bigger side is positive and the smaller side is negative. Here two cells are measured. C is positive, negative, positive, negative. That means two cells becomes the battery. More than two cells should be there if we call it as a battery. So always the bigger portion is positive, the smaller portion is negative. The current flows from positive to negative. It goes like this, then it comes like this, again it comes like this, it goes. Okay, see ammeter, it should be positive, should be there, and this side should be, sorry, it should be negative. Okay, negative, and this side it should be positive. Always I told in the previous slide, ammeter is connected in a series manner. Series means along with the other components. See, fuse is there, resistor is there, LED is there, ammeter is there, then it connected to battery. That means it is connected in a series. So see, this positive side is connected to the positive side of the battery, and this negative side is connected to the negative side of the battery. And you can see here the voltmeter. Voltmeter also is connected. Positive is connected to the positive side, and negative is connected to the negative side of the battery. That you should remember. But voltmeter is always parallel to the load. See here, it is always connected parallelly. Ammeter is always connected in series, but voltmeter is always connected in parallel. That you should remember. Comes to the circuit diagram. Okay, before getting into the circuit diagram, we can see the symbols. See, electric cell, electric cell. Electric cell is represented by here. See, always the bigger portion is called as positive. This is positive, and smaller portion is negative. This is a single cell or electric cell. What is a battery? Battery of a combination of cell is, see here, this side is positive, negative, positive, negative. This side is positive, negative. But while representing, we use only one side positive, and this side it should be negative. That's it. Okay, it is a combination of cells. And coming to the third portion, plug key or a switch. It is open. See, the switch can be like this, and it is open, nothing is there, the black dot is not there inside, it is called as open key. And if a dot is kept inside the key, that means the switch is on, or the key is on. It can be called as key, plug key, or switch. Three names are there. Which are those? Key, plug key, or switch. Next, coming to the wire joint. Wire joint, it can always be represented like this. One wire is there, other wire is there. So joint should be there. So the joint you have to make like this joint. Crossing over the wire. So wire is already there. The wire should not touch. That means you should show like this. It is jumping. That means there is no connection between the wire number 1 and wire number 2. That is
wires crossing without joining. Coming to the electric bulb, so it can be represented like this. This is the very easiest way. First you have to write M, that's it, M, and draw a line, so this becomes the bulb. Or you can write here also, but it is very complicated. Okay, sorry, this is very complicated, right? And resistor is always very simple, up and down, the triangle shape, inverted triangle you have to make like this, and it becomes a resistor. And resistor can be varied, like in the fan control, the regulator is there, 1 2 3 4, the speed you change, right? It is similar to that, and it is represented like this. It can be represented like this. An arrow should be drawn in between. That means it can be, the resistance can be varied. The variable resistor, see, the variable resistor is also called as rheostat. Remember, they will ask in 1 mark, 1 mark answers. And or you can also write like this, the resistor, and here you can give the arrow where it can be varied. And this is the ammeter. Ammeter, positive, negative. It will have a sign. Voltmeter also same. It represented by capital V and positive, negative. So you need to practice it very well to use in circuit. Okay, coming to the Ohm's law. Ohm's law is very easy one. Already you might be knowing. What does the Ohm's law say? Ohm's law states that, I will take a laser, just a minute. Yeah, laser is here. Ohm's law states that the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference. Once again, I'll repeat. The Ohm's law states that the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference. See here, the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference or voltage. That can be represented by V is directly proportional to I, and once you remove the proportionality symbol, is equal to symbol should come, and one constant should come into picture. This is the rule. See, V is directly proportional to I. If I change this one to is equal to, that means is equal to symbol should come, and it should be replaced by one constant. So we can put that as R. We can put that as R. So it will become V is equal to I into R, where R is a constant. Clear? See, this proportionality symbol is replaced by is equal to and R. So where R is a constant. So R will become R is equal to V by I, where V is a voltage, unit is volts, V, R is constant. It can be called as resistor or resistance. Unit of resistance is ohms, represented by symbol omega. I is current, the unit is ampere, represented by capital A. And you can see here the circuit diagram. Okay, positive, and this is negative. This is the flow of electricity. The current flows from positive to negative. Okay, the bulb glows. You see, R is the resistance. That means bulb is the resistance. Then current flowing is I. So you can take this one as I. Okay, the current I. The current is flowing. The current is flowing here. I. Then voltage V. That means here you can represent voltage, and this can be represented by R. Clear? R is equal to V by I. We can say is equal to current is equal to directly proportional to voltage and inversely proportional to the resistance. This is also very simple. Phi is equal to V by R. Very easy, no? Phi is equal to V by R. R is equal to V by I. And well, the same thing can be represented. You can change the formula, right? R is equal to, in a different form you can change, write it. R is equal to V by I. See, so many ways we can write it. So V is equal to, what is V is equal to? I into R. I into R. Clear? So many ways you can write the formulas. See, it can be represented. You remember this picture. See, you remember this picture. What does the picture show? What does the picture show? Just go through that. See, think that it is a pipe here. Inside the pipe, a person is tying it. The size of the pipe is reducing, correct? Reducing. And this person is current. That means water is flowing inside the pipe, things like that. And the pipe is, the size is reduced here by tying a rope here, and that person is holding it. Okay, he is a resistance or he is a stopper. Okay, and this person is putting the pressure, that potential difference, electric pressure. That means he is a voltage. He is just pushing inside. He is trying to push the current. That means push the electrons faster inside the conductor. So remember, the person who is holding it is the resistor or resistance or the stopper. The person who is flowing inside is a current. Okay, electrons, that is called as ampere. And potential difference is nothing but it is a pressure created. So you should remember this. This is represented by the Ohm's law. Coming to the resistance of a conductor. You know the resistance. Okay, the resistance will be there. That means, what is resistance? The resistance means the difficulty to flow inside. By whom? By electrons. The difficulty of electrons to flow inside a conductor is called as resistor. That means good conductors, the electrons will flow very easily inside it, and for bad conductors, the electrons doesn't flow inside the resistor because there the resistance will be very high, more. Okay, see, the resistance depends on the temperature of the conductor, the cross section area of the conductor, the length of the conductor, the nature of the material of the conductor, the nature of the material of the conductor. So many factors are depending on the resistance of the conductor. You can say here, this is the length of the conductor. Okay, take some iron rod or gold rod or silver rod or copper rod. So that is a thing, that is a conductor or a resistor. Okay, it can be taken as a conductor or a resistor, and it depends on the type of material. Okay, the area of the cross section, it depends on the length. Okay, it depends on the temperature of the conductor, and it depends on the area of the cross section. If the area is more, electrons can flow easily inside the conductor. If it is less, the resistance will be very very high. So the resistance of a uniform metallic conductor is directly proportional to its length and inversely proportional to the area of the cross section. That means resistance is directly proportional to the length. Okay, resistance is directly proportional to the length. That means length is more, resistance is more. Length is short, resistance is short. And length is inversely proportional to area. Resistance is inversely proportional to area. That means 1 by A. R is inversely proportional to 1 by A. Okay, that means if resistance increases, area, what happens? If resistance, if area increases, resistance decreases. If area increases, resistance decreases. If area decreases, resistance increases. So you should remember. So both can be, since both are R, we can write in a common formula. R is directly proportional to L by A, isn't it? R is proportional to L by A. Whenever we remove this proportionality symbol, that means is equal to should come and one constant should come. So R is equal to rho L by A. This is called as rho, RHO. See here, where the symbol rho, RHO, is a constant of proportionality and is called the electrical resistivity. It is a constant. What constant? Constant of proportionality, and is called the electrical resistivity of the material of the conductor. It is also called as the constant of proportionality or resistivity, that it becomes R is equal to rho L by A. For rho is nothing but resistivity now, correct? And it has got a unit. See, the SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter. Remember this, ohm meter. So we can write the formula R is equal to rho L by A. R is equal to rho L by A. So that is the resistance of a conductor. You should remember. The metals and alloys have very low resistivity. That means it easily allows the current. That's why they are called as good conductors of electricity. Insulators like rubber and glass have high resistivity. That means they are bad conductors of electricity. Hope you are clear. The electrical resistivity. The electrical resistivity means ohm. Rho. What is the unit of rho? Rho is equal to ohm meter. See here, conductor, silver, copper. That means among this, silver is the best conductor, which has got least resistivity. The next is copper, aluminum. You can see here, the resistivity is nothing but rho. Unit of rho is ohm meter. It is here only. Okay, the table is given. Just remember 1 or 2 here. Silver, you should remember 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 8 ohm meter. See, alloys. What is an alloy? Alloy is a combination of two or more metals. What is alloy? Alloy is combination of two or more metals. Insulator, which doesn't allow the electricity or electrons to pass through it, like glass, rubber, ebonite, diamond, etc. Alloys example constantan, that is alloy of copper and nickel, manganese, alloy of copper, nickel and manganese, nichrome, that is nickel, chromium, manganese and iron. So all these are called as alloys. That means see, two minimum two metal should be there. Then only it is called as alloy. Both are melted and both are mixed together very well and allowed to cool. So it becomes an alloy. Resistance of a system of resistors. Very interesting one. So you have seen resistors in series in your previous classes and resistors in parallel also in the previous classes. Now let us get into some detail. Resistors in series, that means series means one behind the other or one adjacent to the other. You can see this is the resistor R1, R2, R3. There are three resistors connected in series. That means one behind the other or one adjacent to the other. Think that a person holding the hand, right? Stretching the hand and holding the hand of this person and holding the hand of this person. So it is nothing but series, forming a chain. That means one adjacent to the other is a series connection. So think that this is a battery. Battery is a collection of cells. See how many cells are there? One, two, three, four cells are there. So four cells have put together and it has become a battery. This side is the positive side and this side is the negative side. The current starts flowing from positive side represented by I, and it's connected to a, what meter is this? Ammeter. See, positive of ammeter is connected to the positive of the battery. Negative of the battery is connected to the negative of the positive. Sorry, negative of the ammeter is connected to the negative of the battery. Correct. After that, what is connected? It is connected to R1, R2, R3, and a key is present here. And what is this? This is voltmeter. How we say it is a voltmeter? Because symbol V is given here. See, positive, negative. Positive is connected to the positive of the battery. Negative is connected to the negative of the battery. This is the electric circuit of a series connection. And coming to the resistors in parallel, you can see here the same battery, key, ammeter. See, ammeter is connected here, negative to negative, positive to positive, and voltmeter is connected here in parallel. See here, voltmeter is also connected in parallel here, but ammeter is connected in series. Ammeter is connected in series. This rule you should remember. Ammeter is always connected in a series in a circuit. Voltmeter is connected always in a parallel in a circuit. Hope it is clear. And coming to the resistors in parallel, you can see here R1, R2, R3. The same R1, R2, R3 is connected in different arrangement here. See, it is wire is extended, R1 is connected, and here R2 is connected like this, R3 is connected like this. How is it? And voltmeter is connected here. So all the things are in parallel. R1 is parallel to R2, R2 is parallel to R3, R3 is parallel to the voltmeter. That is called as resistor in resistors in parallel arrangement. Now coming to the resistors in series, you will see. So always remember, see the same current is flowing. Think that the water is coming here and water is going to the house number 1, house number 2, house number 3 and coming here. So the current is flowing, the same amount of current is flowing. See, there is no division here, right? The same amount has to come here and same amount of water is coming here, same amount of water is coming here and going back to the tank. So similarly, with that contrast, the battery is a collection of cells which has got power potential difference positive and negative. So the current flows from positive direction, the same current flows through R1, R2, R3 and comes back. So that's why current is always constant. Remember, very important. What is constant here? Current is always constant. And here you can see here the current is flowing here. Is the same current going here? No, the current gets split here. See, it goes here R1, R2, R3. That means the water is getting divided to three houses. House number 1, house number 2, house number 3. Like that, the current comes here and it gets divided to three houses. That means current is not constant here. The current changes. It becomes I1, I2, I3. Correct? Here also the voltage changes. That voltage will become V1, V2, V3 because voltage is getting different, getting different here. V1, V2, V3. But here current will be I, I, I. Why? Because current is constant in the series. See here, the current is different, right? The current will become I1, I2, I3. But what about the voltage? The voltage will be the same. At R1, the voltage will be V. At R2, the voltage will be V. R3, the voltage will be V. So that is the difference. So coming to series, we take V is equal to voltage will split here, no? V1, V2, V3 and apply the Ohm's law. What does Ohm's law say? V is equal to I into R. That means voltage is directly proportional to the current. The voltage is directly proportional to the current. That means we can write it as V is equal to I into R. So at each resistance R1, R2, R3 apply the Ohm's law. So V1 is equal to I into R1, V2 is equal to I into R2, V3 is equal to I into R3. I will be same because I is constant. Then you just take this one. We have seen here, no? The total voltage is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. So that's why it will become IR is equal to IR1 plus IR2 plus IR3. I is common, so it goes away. So total resistance, that means total resistance R1 plus R2 plus R3. Total resistance will be, add all the resistor, will get the total resistance. R1 plus R2 plus R3 is equal to total. RS is total resistance. That is very simple. Here we know current will be not constant, voltage is constant, so I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Why? Because it is getting divided I1, I2, I3. Then we know the Ohm's law, V is equal to I into R, but here we are validating I, so I will become I is equal to V divided by R. Like same thing you can take it here, I is equal to V by R. So we know I is equal to I1 is equal to V by R1, I2 is equal to V by R2, I3 is equal to V by R3. So we can substitute in this formula. I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. See here what is I? V by R, that is R total, is equal to V by R1 plus V by R2 plus V by R3. V is constant, so V goes away. Left side is equal to right side, so it gets cancelled. So what is left over? 1 by R total. That means 1 by R total is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. This should, both you should practice. Okay, in series means you should remember it is total. RS is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. Simple. But in resistance, you should take it as 1 by R. That is the only difference. See here in the series, if you put 1 by R is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3, it becomes series. See, 1. Okay, so very simple. Remember the heating effect of electric current. What is heating effect of electric current? Joule's law of heating. Very, very important concept. What is Joule's law of heating? The heating effect of electric current means whenever you pass on the electric current, the load should get heated. The load should get heated up. Okay, so that is the meaning. See here, load is nothing but resistor. See, the current is going from positive side and it passes through resistance and come back through ammeter to negative side of the battery. Ammeter is connected in parallel series and voltmeter is connected in parallel to the load. So whenever the current passes through the resistor, what is developed? Heat is developed. That means when current is passing, heat is developed. That is the meaning of heating effect of electric current. And this concept is called as Joule's law of heating. Joule was a scientist and he found out this concept. So that's why it is called as Joule's law of heating. What does the law say? The law say heat is always represented by H. Okay, the heat is represented by H. Current is I. R is resistance. T is time. So the Joule's law say that the heat produced in a resistor, see, the heat produced in a resistor is directly proportional to the square of the current. See here, is directly proportional to the square of the current. Okay, directly proportional to the square of the current and directly proportional to the resistance, directly proportional to the resistance and directly proportional to the time and directly proportional to the time. So that's why it is written as H is equal to I square RT, where H is heat. Okay, H is heat. So H is equal to I square RT. Clear? Clear? The heat produced in time T is H is equal to VIT. That means you can write this form I square RT. That means I can be written as V by I, right? Or can be written as 1 minute. I'll show you. So we know Ohm's law is equal to V is equal to I into R, right? I into R. So if I replace this R with R is equal to, what will become? R is equal to V by I. V by I. So what happens here? This I gets cancelled. This one I gets cancelled. And what is left here? V. Instead of I, V will come. So what it becomes? So it becomes H is equal to I. I is there. One I is there. Then V is there. And T is there. We can just alter the formula here. So H is equal to IVT or VIT. See here, H is equal to VIT. That's it. Heat produced in time. That is equal to H is equal to VIT. And what is power? Power. What is power? Power is equal to work done by time. Work done by time taken. We know that formula right from 8th standard. Power is equal to work done by time. Time. What is work? Work is nothing but, what is work? Voltage into charge. Voltage into charge divided by T. Always remember voltage or pressure, electrical potential into charge is called as work done. That means voltage we know it is a pressure and Q is number of charge. That means how much charge is pushed by the voltage, that is work done. Okay, and divided by time. So Q by T can be written as, we know the formula from beginning, I is equal to, first page we learned, right? Charge by time taken is current. How much charge is moving across the cross section in unit time is current. So Q by T, see here, the Q by T can be represented by T. That means it will become V into Instead of Q by T, we can write as I. So see here, P is equal to VI. That means we can write as VI. See this VI I am writing like this. VI is equal to, what is that? Is equal to P. So we can write as VI. Can remember VIP. Okay, very simple way, VIP. That means Vi is equal to power. Whenever they ask for the power formula, you should remember power is VIP. That means Vi is equal to P, where V is voltage, I is current, P is power. Clear? Very simple. You're able to understand. And remember this Joule's law of heating, very important, and they will ask for the examination. And all these formulas, and you should know how to convert these formulas based on Ohm's law. All these things you should have the basic knowledge. Practical applications of heating effect. So whenever you give a current, pass the current, what happens? It should get heated up. Which are the examples? See bulb. See bulb is here. Whenever you pass on this, inside you're seeing like a resistor kind of thing. What happens? This is a tungsten filament where the temperature will be around 3000 degrees centigrade. Whenever the electricity is passed, this resistance, the resistor resists the current, and what happens? It becomes heated up. The heat will glow. Heat will what? It will glow. Sorry, the tungsten will glow, and it emits the white light. It emits the white light. So that is one function. And this is the electric iron. What you have seen, the current is passed. This will become heated up. And here also, when current is passed, this one will be heated up. The bread toaster, and here also it becomes heated up, and we can use to boil the water. And this oven, and this this kettle to boil the water, and this one, this is the heaters used in the winter season or in the cold areas where the temperature will be -10 -20. Okay, this is the practical applications of heating effect of electric current. What is electric power? Power we have seen VIP, right? Already VIP. We have seen what is power. See here, P is equal to VI, or we can write it as VI is equal to P, correct? So VIP. So here also we can change this formula. So instead of V, you can see what is V. V can be written as Ohm's law. V is equal to I into R. That is Ohm's law. So Ohm's law means Vir. That means warrior. You can take it as warrior or Vir. V is equal to I into R. Vir. That is Ohm's law. So we know V is equal to I into R. So substitute this V into IR here. What does it become? So it becomes P is equal to, so instead of V, what you're writing? I by R. So I R into, already one more I is here. So that I will become like this. So we can write this. So I into I is equal to I square R. Clear? And that can also be written as V by R. So we know I is equal to V by R. So here change this. You make it as I is equal to V by R whole square. Whole square means square into R. Correct? Into R. So this R get cancelled and this R get cancelled. So what is left over? Left over is equal to V square by R. That is what is shown here. See, V square by R. Power is equal to V square by R. You know the formula VIP. That's it. Based on that, you can derive any formulas out of it based on the data given in the problem. So what is SI unit of electric power? Electric power is watt. WATT represented by capital W. Okay, so power is watt. WATT. So what is electric power? So it is a power consumed by a device that carries 1 ampere of current. It is the power consumed by a device that carries 1 ampere of current when operated at a potential difference of 1 volts. Thus, 1 watt is equal to 1 volt into 1 ampere. 1 volt into 1 ampere. See, P is equal to VI, right? P is equal to VI. So, V into what is V? Volt. I ampere. That is 1 volt into 1 ampere. That's 1 VA. 1 VA. You can write in short form. W is equal to V into A. So you know W is equal to watt. So 1 kilowatt means 1000. 1000 means kilo. So that's why 1 kilo means 1000 watt. The commercial unit of electrical energy is kilowatt hour. Whatever the light bill, the current electricity bill given by the lineman to your house monthly, just go through that. Just see the light bill. You will understand the units. That units is called as kilowatt hour. How many units you have consumed in the previous month? Based on that, the bill will come to your house, right? So that is nothing but unit. How many units? 10 units, 20 units, 100 units, 4000 units. That unit is called as kilowatt hour. They will ask in 1 mark. The commercial unit of electrical energy is kilowatt hour. Okay, it also called as unit. Clear? And here we come to an end of this chapter, and it is a very interesting chapter. But one important thing is you should concentrate. Each slide, each concept, each formula, everything has to be written down neatly, and you have to practice one by one. At least 10 to 15 times you should write, and you should answer. You should be able to answer each and every concept, okay? Questions from the concepts, and you'll become thorough. Clear? And thank you so much for being with me for such a long time. All the best, and thank you so much.